Your WSFA First Alert weather with meteorologist Amanda Curran.
Late last night into early this morning, rain and rumbles were rolling through the area, and at our mildest point in Montgomery, we climbed into the upper 60s today. So if I tell you in just 3 to 4 days we are going to have temperatures sliced in half and we have the possibility of snow, those are all things that we are going to be monitoring very closely. I think South Alabama gets the biggest and highest coverage of not only snow showers but potential accumulation. We'll talk more about this graphic. It's also on our website and inside your First Alert weather app. Monet, a full rundown of your forecast is coming up in just a couple of minutes. 2025, what a fun way to start the year off. And when I use my ruler, both in inches or centimeters, we are coming up on almost 1/10 of an inch. That does not sound like a lot, but we are getting close to actually having a number where we can say that it is accumulating snow. Now we have those big fat snowflakes, and this is just the beginning of what we anticipate seeing here in Covington County. Live right now in downtown Andalusia. We'll give you just a little bit of perspective. We still have some cars that have been out here. We suggest that you get home as quickly as possible. Roadways are definitely going to deteriorate quickly. More snow is going to accumulate throughout the day. One more question before I let you go. You have the First Alert weather app, correct?
We do.
See?
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about.
Don't even have the Weather Channel out.
Oh.
The WSFA.
I didn't even pay him to say that either. So he's watching the First Alert weather app. We are too.
Wow, Amanda, we can't believe the difference just an hour or so makes since the last time we saw you outside.
Yeah, we are currently standing outside of the Andalusia Fire Department, and as you can see, the roads are starting to get snow covered. My photographer Seth is going to pan over to the roads. We still have some people who are out here driving. Want to remind you that all county roads in Covington County are considered impassable right now. We've had a couple of reports coming in from places that have iced over, and so I want to introduce the police chief here in Andalusia. Paul Hudson, thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. I know you're very busy today. What is a way that people at home can make the police department less busy today?
Well, stay at home. At noon, the roads inside the city limits will close, so we need everybody to stay home so we can keep the officers off the road.
Man, it's coming down good there.
The snow globe has been activated, and Judd, it is not letting up. We want to actually show you, as of 12:30, the measurement we were able to take here in downtown Andalusia. So we've been here since about 9 o'clock this morning. We've seen small little bursts of snow. We've seen some heavier bouts of it, but this has been the most consistent that it's been. I love the fact that I have this ruler and I'm actually able to use it. So just within the past 10 to 15 minutes, we have accumulated additional ½ inch of snow. My ruler is right on the 1.5 inch mark here. Same situation happens on the roadways. The snow falls down, it's wet, a little bit of heat from the tires warms it up to a liquid state, and then it instantly freezes back on the ground. So that's where we're going to get these slick spots. And the most dangerous part of all is that those slick spots are happening underneath newly developed and falling snow. So you might just look at the roadways and say, oh, it's white, it's fine, but then it's underneath on your feet where some of that frozen ice is the major issue. And a lot of you in Covington County, Andalusia in particular, remember the last time we saw a major event where there was accumulating snow or ice. I think it was the winter of 13 into 14. So we've had little bouts here and there, but we're talking over a decade since something like this has happened. We do not want anybody else to become a statistic. We want you to enjoy the rare January snow here.
All right, man, I don't know how close lunchtime is for you guys, but maybe a bowl of chili or a bowl of soup today sounds like the jam, especially to kind of
warm.
How
about a bowl of snow?
Yes, yeah, you've been getting a full diet of snow out there.
People driving with their hazards. Obviously, plows in the state of Alabama are not easy to find, so I think some people are trying to find ways to get off of the main intersection. Right now we're looking at US 84 here. This is not frozen completely, but these were very mushy areas of what was slush earlier. Now these are starting to get hard, and like Josh said, once the sun goes down, more of this is going to happen. Accumulating snow on top of it means it's very difficult for you to see what's underneath that snow, and most of you are going to be running into this slush that is getting a lot harder and turning into a solid and making those roadways like ice rinks. Oh hey, didn't see you over there. We are right off of US 84. So we're not on the main drag. We're actually on a service road that leads to a couple of restaurants that are closed and a couple of hotels that people have been kind of filtering in and out of to find shelter. Obviously, you can see these tire tracks right here. A lot of this has turned into a little bit of a frozen slush, but underneath all of this fresh snow where no one's driving is all frozen ice, and you can see my boots almost disappear when I step into this snow. But obviously It's a messy day out here. Not only is it cold, it feels even colder because of the wind. Being below freezing means that some of the slush that we saw earlier in the day is freezing the roadways, and as temperatures continue to take a tumble tonight, that is only going to become more of a widespread issue. So thankfully, I don't think we've seen a ton of people out here. I posted a video earlier. It's kind of like a ghost town, a little eerie. We kind of feel like the only ones out here. A good example of that you can visualize is happening right now on our station vehicle. I mean, look at all of this ice and snowpack that has been blown on our car. Now the car is able to heat up because of the fact that we have the heat running, the hood is hot, the windshield is warm. Then we get these little drips of water. Now, satisfying, not very safe. And there's more all along the car. I wish you could feel texture on TV. I mean, there we go. If I want to get into the back seat, we've had major buildup since we've been sitting out here for hours. And so this is kind of a very similar setup to what's going to be forming on the roadways underneath the snow that is, yes, still falling here. Numbers across the area right now, they are hanging out somewhere in the mid and upper 50s. And when the air temperature and dew point are so close together, that is going to bring us an environment where we have really effective conditions to produce low-level reduced visibility, aka the fancy way of saying it could be foggy tomorrow morning if you're out and about early. So while sunny and 75 is our forecast tomorrow afternoon, is it going to be a foggy start for any of you travelers early in the morning? We're going to walk you through the details hour by hour, talk a really nice looking Christmas day, but a warm one too. And Val talk a big drop in temperature coming our way next week before the end of 2025. So while rain and storms can be a little bit of a nuisance, especially to outdoor plans, it can actually probably be our best friend if you're not a fan of this super hot and humid forecast. Now, don't get me wrong, it is still going to be warm, seasonably so, Thursday, Friday, even into the start of your weekend, with a lot of you topping out somewhere in the lower 90s. That is very normal for this time of year. But watch what happens as we head into early next week. Rain chances start to go down and air temperatures start to climb. So if you thought those mid 90s from 2 days ago was a little too much heat for you, well, guess what? We have plenty of it coming back, and that's how we start our work week next week. You make it right on par with a seasonable afternoon high of 65 degrees with sunshine. Perfect forecast for your Valentine's Day and all of your Valentine's Day plans. You will not have any major weather issues. That is great news, but unfortunately, this beautiful forecast does not stick around. We would take some widespread wet weather if it meant that we could get a good, beneficial, soaking rain in the forecast. That just is not in the cards for us anytime soon. Until then, warm afternoons with lots of sunshine. Highs are climbing into the lower 90s most days. And I will say maybe a few degrees warmer than normal as we head towards the end of September and the end of summer. But what I will also say is this is still very much below record high territory. And while it's a warm day, it's not going to be overwhelmingly wet. Sure, we do track a couple of showers, but I think for the most part, the rain is not going to favor our forecast locally in central or southern portions of the state until we head into Sunday. Temperatures won't stay in the mid and upper 30s for long. Dry air heats up efficiently, so once we get some sunshine, we are going to head back into the upper 50s for much of central and south Alabama. Keep in mind that this is going to still be a few degrees cooler than normal for this time of year, but hey, overall, dry air, lots of sunshine, cannot lose with a Thanksgiving forecast like this. While there's not a ton on radar right now, I do think that overall rain chance will start to flourish a bit as we head throughout the warmest part of the day. Along and ahead of that boundary is where we're going to see that highest coverage of rain. So I got to preface this. It is not going to rain everywhere today. I don't want you to get your hopes up and say, well, they said it was going to rain. Yes, there is rain on radar, but it is not enough for everyone. When we wake up Thanksgiving morning, big changes on the way. Overnight lows will be back down into the 30s, and we could dip below freezing by early Friday morning. So we're going to talk all the ups and downs in the forecast and walk you through the latest data. If you've stepped out and about at all during the hottest part of the day, you know that that heat is no joke. So what I'm telling you to do is try to confine those hours of activity, things you need to get done, like yard work or maybe exercise. If you can do it earlier in the day or later in the afternoon and evening while still dodging showers and storms, you're going to avoid a lot of this, which is our peak heat of the day. Is that the dry air got transported in behind the cold front, and for it to just magically appear, that just doesn't make any sense, right? So the wind has to transport it back into our neck of the woods, and that is why wind has been a big factor in the forecast for about 24 hours. Now, I will say the last 24 hours of your 2025, well, we start off cold, but we make it to at least the low and mid 50s tomorrow with a lot of sunshine and a little less wind. I do think that's going to be a lot more comfortable across central and south Alabama, but even more so, the first day of the new year, we're a little bit more seasonable with that sunshine, finding our way easily to either side of 60 degrees. Now, I will say, looking forward, we do have to talk about the return of moisture and how that could include a chance of rain.